This beautiful painting of 17th century, it's showing a young woman with case of severe anemia, white, totally white face, pale young woman clenching her chest due to chest pain and discomfort, with her physician feeling her rapid and fast pulse. Anemia. Anemia is functionally defined as an insufficient red cell mass to adequately deliver oxygen to all peripheral tissues. It may be due to increased RBC clearance or destruction, decreased RBC production, or both, and caused by intrinsic as well as extrinsic factors. According to WHO, in male, adult male less than 13, in pregnant, non-pregnant female less than 12, and in pregnant female less than 11 gram per dl is considered as a evidence of anemia. The functional classification of anemia has three major categories. First is marrow production defect. In this, there is the hypoproliferation of bone marrow leading to decreased RBC production, typically seen with a low reticulocyte count production index, we also called as RPI, together with little or no change in red cell morphology, characteristically a normocytic normochromic anemia. Second is red cell maturation defect. In this, there is a adequate red blood cells in bone marrow. There is adequate erythropoiesis, lekin ineffective erythropoiesis, leading to decreased red blood cells count, slightly to moderately elevated reticulocyte count production index, that is accompanied by either macrocytic or microcytic red blood cells. And last is decreased red cell survival. This is due to blood loss or hemolysis. In this, there is the increased red blood cell destruction secondary to hemolysis, result in an increase in the reticulocyte production index to at least 3 times a normal, and provided a sufficient iron and vitamin B12 for production of this RBCs. Hemorrhagic anemia does not typically result in RPI more than 2 to 2.5 times of normal because of availability of iron in bone marrow is in limiting quantity. Response to anemia. Any person when develop anemia, he shows some physiological changes to anemia. Firstly, there is erythropoietin stimulation. In this, because of in kidney, there is the production of erythropoietin hormone. Erythropoietin hormone is induced by hypoxia inducible factor. Hypoxia inducible factor is hydroxylated and degraded in presence of oxygen. But because of anemia, decreased O2 delivery, this HIF1 alpha factor is don't degraded, it's upregulate and increase the production of EPO by the kidneys, and this erythropoietin hormone leading to increased erythropoiesis, and because of this there is the increased production of red blood cell mass in bone marrow in a case of anemia. Second is better use of available hemoglobin. We all know that hemoglobin is required for oxygen delivery to peripheral tissues, and because of low hemoglobin, there is the decreased delivery of oxygen to peripheral tissues. So to compensate this, there is the mechanism in which there is increased concentration of 2,3 DPG in erythrocyte, leading to decreased binding of oxygen to hemoglobin molecule and leading to release of oxygen to peripheral tissues is in a convenient way, and increased delivery of oxygen. This curve, so the blue curve is of normal person and dotted curve of anemic patients. This curve, so because of anemia there is increased DPG, curve is shifted to right, leading to decreased affinity of hemoglobin to carrying binding the oxygen and leading to increased delivery of oxygen to peripheral tissues. There are the adaptations of cardiovascular system In case of anemia, body respond immediately with a redistribution of blood which aims to ensure oxygenation of vital organs. Two simultaneous phenomenon occur in this process. First is redistribution of blood flow. In this, there is the which organs are not vital, leading to vasoconstriction, such as in skin, in kidneys, in GI tract, and vasodilatations in the important organs like brain, leading to supply of the blood diverted from less required area to more vital organs. And second is increased cardiac output. In increased cardiac output is seen in response to tissue hypoxia. It increases the amount of blood pumped by the heart, and it is not developed until hemoglobin level drop by below the 7. And clinically increased cardiac output is manifested by tachycardia and functional appearance of murmur, systolic murmurs. O2 delivery is depend on blood flow. So in case of anemia, blood flow is increased by increased cardiac output and altered flow distribution. And hemoglobin concentration, we obviously don't change it without any treatment, and also depend on difference of saturation of oxygen of arterial blood and venous blood. So we increase this difference by increasing 2,3 DPG and decrease RBC affinity to oxygen and increase delivery to peripheral tissues. These are the physiological phenomenon to anemia. Clinical picture. Clinical picture is depend on the what the rate of the anemia development and how severe it is. First is the chronic progressive anemia. In this there is the lassitude, fatigue, loss of stamina, feeling of breathlessness, tachycardia, pallor of skin and mucous membrane, sign of cardiac failure in severe anemia, including systolic flow murmurs, pedal edema, facial edemas. Second is blood loss anemia. In blood loss anemia, hypovolemia is dominate the clinical feature. So if there is the loss of 10 to 15%, then leading to vascular instability, more than 13% loss leading to postural hypotension and tachycardia, and 40% loss leading to hypovolemic shock, confusion, dyspnea, diaphoresis, tachycardia and hypotension. And hemolytic anemia, in hemolytic anemia, clinical features may be acute back pain due to intravascular hemolysis, hemoglobin urea we seen in this hemolytic anemia, and sign of renal failure can develop. The main symptoms of anemia are pallor, we already discussed, increased sensitivity to cold, asthenia, dyspnea, muscle fatigue, and cardiac manifestations, tachycardia, palpitations, functional systolic murmur, and in severe anemia we can also feel rapid breathing, tachypnea, and in very severe acute loss of consciousness. These diagrams show the various symptoms of anemia. We already discussed all the symptoms in previous slides. Neurological disorders we also seen in change in vision, cephalgia, and when hemoglobin level drop below 3. In case of severe anemia, there is the sign of cerebral hypoxia, vertigo, and even coma. Neuromuscular, consisting of changing behavior, headache, dizziness, visual disorders, insomnia, inability to concentrate. Females, in case of anemia, generally developed abnormal menstruations. Increased bleeding may be the cause of anemia, and after anemia there may be leading to hypomenorrhea or amenorrheas. Renal disorders is due to the water retention in case of anemia, leading to edema and swelling in the legs. Digestive disorders, patient complaining of anorexia, decreased appetite, nausea, indigestion, and occasionally constipations. And then we go to the examination part. In examination, there is the, in case of iron deficiency anemia, we find angular cheilitis, cracking at the edge of the lips and koilonychia, spooning of the nails, hyperpigmentation of the knuckle in case of megaloblastic anemia, and in presence of jaundice with pallor suggests the possibility of hemolytic anemia. Splenomegaly in adult with anemia may indicate autoimmune hemolytic anemia, infections like kala azar, venous congestion, lymphoproliferative or myeloproliferative disorders. Tenderness over bone, especially sternum bone, suggests acute leukemia, and presence of pathology and purpura in addition to pallor suggestive of thrombocytopenia along with anemia. Causes are many, including leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, metastasis, and in megaloblastic anemia may also seen thrombocytopenia with anemia. The patient, especially pure vegetarian, presenting with neurological finding such as loss of vibration or position sense, may also have the clue for B12 deficiency anemia. They are the laboratory tests we go for in the case of anemia. CBC. CBC include many parameters: hematocrit, hemoglobin, MCV, MCH, MCSC, and RDWCV. RDWCV is a very important parameter because it shows the measurement of N-isocytosis. White blood cell count. In CBC we also measure white blood cell counts, platelet counts, and in PBF we go for cell morphology, cell size, hemoglobin content, N-isocytosis, poikilocytosis. N-isocytosis is the variation between the size of the cells, and poikilocytosis is the when there is a more than 10% cells of abnormal shape is present, and polychromasia. We also go for iron supply studies, serum iron, TIBC, ferritin, and also for the vitamin, including also B12 and folate deficiency in case of megaloblastic anemia. And lastly we go for the marrow examination, bone marrow aspiration and bone marrow biopsy. In these both we look for myeloid erythroid ratio, cell morphology, cellularity. These are the normal range, normal values of different parameters. RDWCV is generally 12 to 15. When the cells vary from size, some cells are small, some are large, then RDWCV is increased, as in case of iron deficiency anemia, megaloblastic anemia. Retic count normally 0.5 to 1.5%. They are the red blood cell indices. A normal MCV, normocytic anemia, suggests either acute blood loss or the anemia of chronic disease. A low MCV, macrocytic anemia, suggests iron deficiency or thalassemia. High MCV, macrocytic anemia, generally suggests B12 deficiency or folate deficiency or myelodysplasia. Peripheral blood smear. PBF is a very important diagnostic tool to diagnose anemia. In PBF, we provide important information about defect in red blood cell production as a complement to the red blood cell indices. The blood smear also reveal variations in cell size and isocytosis and shape poikilocytosis. The degree of anisocytosis usually correlate with increase in the RDWCV. We already discussed it. As anisocytosis increases, RDWCV value is increases. Poikilocytosis suggests a defect in the maturation of red blood cell precursors in the bone marrow or fragmentation of circulating red cells. The blood smear also reveal polychromasia. Polychromasia is in which the premature reticulocytes are released in the blood because of increased demand. There is the premature releasing of reticulocytes. These reticulocytes containing of messenger RNA, ribosomal RNA, leading to normal and grayish blue in color on right Giemsa strand. This phenomenon is known as polychromasia. The appearance of nucleated red cells, Howell-Jolly bodies, target cells. Clinical features, we already discussed it. These are the various cells we seen in PBF, histiocytes, spherocytes, basophilic stripling. These are the various iron deficiency anemia. There is the microcytic cells compared to lymphomas. In megaloblastic anemias, we are seeing the megaloblastic cells. Red blood changes in myelofibrosis, In uremia, we seen the spur cells. Spur cells is tiny projections over the RBCs. Target cells. Today we complete our topic about the approach to a case of anemia. For approaching a case of anemia, there is the importance of history, then symptoms in history, examination part, and various tests. Tests mainly include CBC, PBF, iron studies, vitamin B12 level, and bone marrow examination. Which all these parameters we can conclude the cause of anemia and treat accordingly. Thank you.